Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am going to be doing a tag video today. I haven't done one of these in so long. I have actually been tagged by the wonderful Jovie from the YouTube channel Jovie's Home. She is amazing, she is adorable. You guys will absolutely love her. You have to check her out. Jovie is actually an American expat living in the Netherlands with her multicultural family, and I will actually link her version of this video in my description below, and you have to wait till the end because she sings in Dutch. It is so cute. So anyway, let's get into the tag. I'm going to be looking down at my phone because I have all of the questions listed here, and I've just realized you guys probably know a lot of these answers already, but I'm going to do the tag anyway. So the first question is, what languages are spoken in your home and which ones do you speak? So the languages that are spoken in my home are German and English. My mother tongue is English, obviously, and my husband's mother tongue is German. He was born in Poland, so his first language was Polish, and he still speaks the Polish language, but he considers German his mother tongue. We have two children, Amelia, who is 6, almost 7, and Matteo, who has recently turned 3, and both of our children are bilingual in English and German. In our home, we have a mix of the two languages going on all the time, but I always speak English with my children, and Rob, my husband, always speaks German with them, and this is how it's been since they were born, and it works really well in our family. This is our normal, and it may seem a bit crazy to other people, but this is just how it works for us. So when Rob and I met in New Zealand, I spoke absolutely no German. I had hardly ever heard the German language spoken, and Rob spoke quite broken English, but his English very quickly improved. Now his level of English is really good, and we speak a mixture of German and English together. So mostly we speak English, but actually recently we've swapped over to German. I would say for the last month or so we have spoken maybe 90% German together, and this is really helping me with my German language. Because my children have been raised from birth with both languages, they are very fluent in English and German. They can distinguish easily between the languages, they can switch quickly between the languages, they don't get confused between the two languages. Children pick up languages so incredibly quickly if they are given enough practice and exposure. And so as far as the Polish language goes, we really regret that we did not introduce the Polish language to the children when they were little, because I feel like at this point the Polish language has been kind of lost, which is such a shame. So Rob's parents, they live here in Germany and they speak Polish and German. And so at the beginning, they actually tried speaking Polish with Amelia and Matteo, and they didn't really respond because they were so used to English and German. And because of this, my in-laws, they swapped to German. And since then, they have spoken just German with the kids. Rob actually planned on speaking German and Polish with the children at home, but because German is his stronger language, he ended up letting the Polish language slip, which he regrets. So it is a shame, but it is what it is. So the next question is, do you ever feel left out when it comes to languages? And I would have to say, when it comes to the English and the German language, I don't feel left out. At home we have both languages going on. I understand German, I know what's going on in the conversation, and so I don't feel left out. I have to say, sometimes in social situations I feel a little bit left out with the German language because I don't speak at a native level, and sometimes Germans, they speak really fast and they put in slang words, and it's just hard for me to keep up, and I sometimes feel a little bit left out, but it's getting easier. And with the Polish language, yes, I do feel left out sometimes, because Rob speaks Polish with his parents at home, and even though his parents do speak German, sometimes they will just speak Polish to each other. They don't mean to leave me out, but because I can't understand Polish, I don't understand what's going on. Rob has always just spoken Polish with his parents, so it's weird for him to speak German with them. So when we are all together, they still speak Polish together, even though they can all speak German. They don't mean to leave me out on purpose, but it's just a habit, you know. That is their native language, and it's the only kind of way that Rob can practice his Polish. And so I think it's really good that he speaks Polish still with his parents. I just sometimes wish that they would make the effort to translate a little bit more for me, because I only understand a teeny tiny bit of Polish. So his parents, Rob's parents, my in-laws, will speak German with me and then turn to Rob and speak Polish. So it's kind of crazy dynamics, but you know, we make it work somehow. Okay, so the next question is, how old are your kids and how are their language skills? So I've already answered that question. Amelia is 6, almost 7, and Matteo has just turned 3, and their language skills in English and German are so good. Amelia, she's actually going through a little bit of a stage now where she is stuttering sometimes in English and German, and she did this a little bit when she was around 3, and then she stopped it altogether, and she has recently started school and she has started stuttering a little bit. I'm not sure why. She doesn't stutter all the time, it's just sometimes, usually when she's excited or maybe a little bit nervous, and I don't know whether it's because she is bilingual, maybe this has contributed towards her stuttering. We've actually made an appointment with a speech therapist, so hopefully the speech therapist can help Amelia with her stuttering. It's not something I'm too worried about because it comes and goes, it's not constant, but it will definitely be good for her to get a little bit of help with this. Okay guys, so the next question is, how is it running errands / getting around? So at the moment it's a little bit tricky because I don't have my German driver's license right now. I'm working on it. So during the week we have to rely on public transport and walking places. It is not ideal, but it works for us and my kids love it, and you know, it'll be great when I do get my license, but we're making it work right now doing that. And on the weekend and on Friday afternoons my husband's home and he drives us everywhere, so yeah, that's how we get around. Okay, so the next question is kind of related. What transport do you use and what has your experience been? So as I mentioned, we walk a lot, we take buses, we also take the train sometimes, the tram, and my husband drives us around when he's home. And so as far as public transport goes, I've had a really great experience with public transport here in Germany. Okay, so the next question is, how do people treat you as a foreigner? So I'm going to keep this one short, and I have to say for the most part I have been treated extremely well here in Germany as a foreigner. I can't complain. The next question is quite an interesting one. What do they say about your accent / language abilities? What do they say about them? As I always talk about, I have had such a positive experience in regards to learning this incredibly difficult German language. Germans have just been so patient, so kind, so encouraging during this process. I still have a long way to go in regards to learning the German language, and people have just been really kind to me, and I really appreciate that. For the most part they will say to me things like, oh, you're doing great, keep going, and they'll give me like constructive tips and advice and things like that, but they're never rude to me, they're never mean, never. Even online, when I put myself out there speaking German, you know, that's terrifying, but I just get such kind comments and feedback, which I appreciate. You know, I've had like the odd rude comment, but barely ever do I get rude comments, not because my German's amazing, but because I just feel like Germans really appreciate non-German making the effort to learn their language. And as far as my accent, the comments I will get quite often is, oh, you sound so cute, and don't lose your accent because it, you know, adds charm and character. And so I've never really had a bad comment about my accent, so that's really lovely and I really appreciate it. The next question is a good one. What advice would you give to somebody who was getting ready to live in a foreign country? I really believe that a lot of expats, they just give up too quickly. When they are in this gut-wrenching homesickness stage, they just want to go back to their home country when they haven't really given that other country a chance. So I feel like if you just stick it out a little bit, then you can just like push through and you will see a light at the end of the tunnel, and the rewards are just so great. Another piece of advice I can give you is don't be afraid to make expat friends. And I know a lot of people will say to you that you need to make friends with people from that country, you know, make friends with the locals, and this is so important. Yes, it is important. It is important to have connections with the locals, but I also think it's important to have connections with other expats who know what you're going through, who you can relate with on a totally different level to somebody who is not, you know, gone through the same things as you. So I am all about expat friends. I have got a wonderful bunch of expat friends here in Germany. It took me a long time to find these friends, but they are just so precious and I hold them very close to my heart. So don't be afraid to make expat friends. Don't be afraid to make friends with the locals too, and just get out there and, you know, mingle. Don't hide, just, you know, get out there and embrace this amazing opportunity. Okay, so the next question is, what resources do you wish had been available when you were first starting out in a new language? Okay, so when I first started learning German, that was almost 10 years ago now when I first came to Germany. And so I started learning German at a traditional German language school, which was actually really, really great. It was really great because it was actually full immersion, so it was just German that was spoken. So I was just chucked into this language school. There was no English allowed. At the time it was like horrifying, but right now looking back, I think it was the best thing for me. And also I made some really great connections with, you know, the other students and things like that. But I have to say that right now there are a lot of other opportunities to learn German rather than the traditional language school. There is an online language school called Lingoda, which are fantastic, and there's some really great learning apps like Hello Talk, which I use quite a lot now. That would have been really helpful for me when I first started out learning German. So the last question is, who are you going to tag in this? So I am going to tag Dianna Verry. She is a YouTuber. A lot of you would have already heard of her. She is awesome. She's a Canadian living in Berlin, Germany. I love her videos. Dianna, I would love to see your version of the expat tag, so I hope you can jump on board with this. So anyway guys, that is about it for the expat tag. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much, Jovie, for tagging me in this. This was so much fun. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. I would love you to consider subscribing to my channel. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram, and I will see you again really soon. Bye!